going to actually start. I'm going to walk out, make it really dramatic. So, I don't even know how to hold this thing. Hello. Hello there. My name is Pishifat. I've been a mapper for about 8 years now, and I'm here to present something special that I designed in PowerPoint last night. So, we'll see how special it really is. You may know me as this. I have a red name on OSU. It's pretty fancy. I'm part of the NAT, which is like a group that does a lot of mapping ecosystem stuff. These people, the mappers over here, know what I'm talking about. Everyone else, you probably have no idea what I'm saying. You probably know me for something more like the tutorial here. If you've been playing OSU, if you started playing OSU within the last 3 years, this is, you've heard my voice. I say, hello, and welcome to OS. Let's learn how to play. Just like that. A lot more of you, though, probably everyone in the crowd here knows me as the guy who made OSU mapping videos. These are basically weekly videos where I would talk about, first it was like tutorial stuff, and then it became community something, I don't really know, just a lot of community stuff, and then eventually it turned into like interviews with mappers. And then 3 years ago, it all stopped. Everything ended. And why was that? I don't really have an answer, but people have been wondering, what happened to me? Where have I gone? Do I still exist? Have I died? A lot of people actually did ask, did I die? Because it did seem very sudden. I just stopped uploading videos out of nowhere, and I did it every week for 2.5 years. So, yeah, there was no public statement or anything, I just stopped. So, while at the event here, I've had a lot of people come up to me and be like, oh, I love your mapping videos, you got me into mapping, but when is the next video? When is the next video? It's right now. You're watching it live, minus those ones, and maybe those ones. You're the better ones. I like you more. So, as always, when you want to make a video idea for mapping, you go to Twitter for all the drama. This tweet was from 3 years ago. You can basically replace 2019 with any year because that's how mapping works. I'm going to read it out loud for you. Getting maps ranked in 2019, or current year, feels more like a popularity contest than a measure of mappers' skills/creativity. Agree or disagree? And as you can see from the results, it's a very big bar. A lot of people agree that mapping is just a popularity contest. And, you know, some of you in the crowd probably think it is too. There are situations like this right here. Mordred, for those who don't know, is a beatmap nominator. He's one of the people who like basically puts maps into ranked. And this is the average situation for him while he's in game. Someone anonymous here sends him a map, and Mordred replies no, because that's how Mordred acts. And in response to that, this mapper says, I give up. Ranking is impossible. BNs suck. And Mordred says, you know, maybe it's just your map that sucks. Have you thought about that? And this guy, we ignore that last line. So, yeah, it's just a generally understood thing that mappers, especially new mappers, think that mapping is a popularity contest. You need connections to actually get anywhere, and if you don't have those connections, you're kind of fucked. So, there's been a sort of thought experiment on the OSU Anonymous Twitter, for those of you who remember it. I forgot if it's still running. I muted it a long time ago. But yeah, I'll read this out loud. So imagine a well-known mapper goes undercover with a different account and tries to get their map ranked as a first-time mapper. Would be kind of crazy to see different people treat their maps differently, especially with BNs. So, you can't do this. I think everyone knows, you can't make a second account on OSU. It is against the community rules. The first rule you see on the rules page, each player might only have one account ever. capitalized and italicized. And this whole thing is bolded. It's important. You can't do that. So I did that. And disclaimer, if you do this, you're going to get banned. Don't do it. Like, really, don't do it. I want to say as many disclaimers as possible because you will get banned. This is very special circumstances because I asked Pepe and he said, okay, that's the special circumstances. So yeah, 4 years ago, this is how long this has been in the making. 4 years ago, I got a multi-account. This was like some random person's multi-account that was banned and then it had a few scores on it. And I was just able to take it over, basically. So, as anyone would do on Osu, if you want to be inconspicuous, you just become an anime girl, just a generic anime girl, doesn't matter who. And I decided to make a map. So I made a map, uploaded it. I'm like, I'm going for rank. It's my first serious map. That's how you know it's a big deal. And so, as a new mapper, you don't have connections. The way that you get things done is you have to engage with the community. So, I went into modding queues. For those who don't know, those are just like, it's a forum, a sub-forum on Osu where you post your map and then people who like looking at maps will respond and be like, stuff like, disable the countdown, like Naniro pointed out in the mapping thing yesterday. And stuff like that, just things to improve the map. That's what they do. And so I did that. I got mods from random people. And all was good for a few days, actually. It was very quick how badly this turned against my expectations. So I got an email like this. It's just normal email. Someone posted on my map thread. One thing I forgot to mention here, this map was made in 2018. It was with a featured artist song, and the featured artist collection at the time was very small. There were maybe 20, 30 featured artists at the time, and I wanted to choose a song that no one had mapped, so I went there and I found a song that I liked. It was a song by Vinxis. Some of you might know Vinxis. Vinxis is a featured artist, obviously, and he also does a bunch of Corsace stuff. And Mapper's Choice Awards, A Year in Mapping, he does stuff. He's a community icon. And the important thing to note from here, he is a mapper, so he knows what maps are. And he posted this on my map. This was before, I didn't talk to him about this at all. He just found the map because he looked up like who's mapping his songs on Osu. And the funny thing is, I made the map without any specific like secret style. I just made a map how I usually would. But for the insane difficulty, I was sort of inspired by Vinxis because I was mapping a Vinxis song and I wanted an idea. So I did some Vinxis style mapping, and this is the difficulty he pointed out that he really loves. It's the one that's just catering straight to Vinxis. So mission accomplished in some way. But yeah, that got people talking about it. We had a situation where pretty much every known mapper at the time knew that it was a potential multi-account. So for this tweet from Nathan, for example, it says, when your first map is so nice that you get suspected as being a multi-account of an already famous mapper for it. Well, things weren't looking too good. I wanted to be a little bit more undercover, as that original tweet said. So I went undercover. I disappeared for about a year. And then after a year, I came back and I'm like, I want to rank this map. So I got to work. I started talking to BNs. All of these are beatmap nominators, or they were at the time. And I just said stuff like this. Hello, could you help me with my first map, excuse me. And I got some help. A lot of people, I wasn't explicitly asking for nominations. I was just saying, can you help me? And a lot of people just gave some advice. So, for example, this is how it usually would go. Bibbidi Build, the mapper of guys, honesty. Guys. He just looked at the map and he just said, he's not really interested. Oh no! I pressed a button. In the time when the map was like first known by Vinxis and he posted on it, I got comments from a few people in the mapping community, one of them being Uber Zolek right here. At the time, he was not a BN, but within the year that I was restricted and came back, he was a BN. So I posted in his mod queue, "Hello, your comments say that you have seen my map in the past, smiley face. Thank you in advance." Just very generic talk. And he came back and was like, "Call me back when you get a second BN." So he was going to nominate the map. This mapper without connections, Eruri Sawamura, who nobody knows, somehow had a BN already. And then I talked to other mappers, like Realizzy right there. Realizzy, let me talk to you, Realizzy. Okay. So, did you know who I was? Did you know who this mapper was when you got this message?
No, I had no idea who made this map. I've just seen lots of people talking about it because, well, everyone was suspicious of the account. Like, everyone knows it's a multi-account, but there was this whole mini hunt in the mapping community trying to figure out who made this, and there were lots of names thrown around, like mostly Chinese mapper names, in fact. But
Fonzen, probably.
Yeah, definitely Fonzen. But everyone agreed it was a good map, and I didn't really care whether it was a multi-account or not. I just saw a good map, so I was like, sure, I can rank this.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate you appreciating my map without my name attached to it. But yeah, I got 2 BNs at this point. And then at the same time I was messaging Realizzy, I also messaged Aaron Cat, who's another BN. And Aaron Cat's like, "Hi, cool map. I'd be down to check it." So at this point, I had more nominators than I even needed. And within a few days, I got 2 nominations on the map, and the map was about to be ranked. So that's pretty much the end of the story here. Now you might be wondering, what does all this mean? Why is this relevant? What have we learned from this experience of going undercover as a mapper and trying to map without any connections? A few things. First, multi-accounting is bad. Don't do it. Please don't do it. You will get banned. You will get banned. It is not okay under any circumstances. Okay. Second, Realizzy kind of sucks. He didn't nominate my map. There were 3 BNs. There were 3 BNs and he wasn't one. Just look at that. I don't see Realizzy right here. So, the actual conclusion. Connections aren't actually everything as those initial tweets made you think. Map merit is actually relevant. Like, if you make a good map, people will think that's a good map. And like Realizzy said, they might actually want to nominate it. So, okay, Ice Cult was talking to me in like half an hour before I started this, and he said there's something that new mappers are bad at. It's gauging whether or not their maps are actually at the level that is considered good by BMAP nominators. As a new mapper, you probably think that your maps are actually ready to be ranked at any point in time, probably because you don't know any better and you're new at mapping. That's just how learning a new skill is. You're kind of unaware of the peaks. But at the same time, you have to remember that connections do help. Like, I'm not trying to say from this whole presentation that if you're a mapper, you can basically, you can rank any map because your map is good. It does help a lot to know people in the community. Like, if I were to rank this map under my own name, I could talk to like any of the 2 BNs in the crowd here, and I would be able to get nominations instantly because I have a name in the community and I'm able to do that. Whereas this other anonymous mapper, I couldn't really do that because I had to actually talk to people. I had to gain those connections, even though I didn't really gain any connections. I just sort of talked to them and asked them for BN checks. But that's not how it usually goes. Usually people actually communicate like normal human beings. But yeah, that's the video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next COE. Not next week. Actually, okay. I can do some Q&A, but I don't really know what people would be asking about. Do you have questions? Why did you slander me? Any other questions?